This is Eagle Owl, and today I want to talk about possible safety in Jaquan Brisker. Is he a possibility to get? Trevon Diggs tears ACL, and Jalen Hurts is sick of fans and the media complaining. But let's get straight into it. All right, so before we get straight into it, did you guys watch the game last night? Did you guys watch the game last night? And when you look at the 49ers, do they scare you? I know you look at the final score, you'll look like, wow, the 49ers really handled business 12-30. Giants was close in that game most of the game. And what ended up happening is that Daniel Jones just could not make the throws. He simply could not make the throws. And they obviously missed Saquon Barkley, even though their run game was okay. But they need that explosive guy. But yeah, Daniel Jones and missing Saquon is the reason why the Giants lost. I think if the Giants had Saquon, it might be close, like very, very close to score. And when you look at Brock Purdy numbers, inflated, it was a lot of yards after the catch. This dude was not throwing the ball over 10 to 15 yards. I know he hit Debo deep one time, I believe towards the end of the game, but most of that game, slants, not out routes, like can't even think of the route right now. But they were very short route screens. That's really it. But Brock Purdy does not scare me at all. You bring that pressure, especially with our defensive line, he's food. He's definitely food. All right, so let's get into this. Also, the injury report. When you look at that, you say, wow. Terrell Edmonds, he was out with an illness. That's fine. So more than likely he'll be ready to go. Boston Scott might be out. He's still dealing with that concussion. I think Quez hamstring injury is more serious than people think. I think he missed the next 2 to 3 games, in my opinion. Won't be surprised if they put him on short-term IR. And everybody else limited. Reed Blankenship even said he could have played. Bradbury's out of concussion protocol. Fletcher Cox still with this ribs. Zach Cunningham ribs. Jordan Davis ankles. Kenny G ribs. Devontae Smith hamstring and thigh, but he was limited, so that's good. Jack Stoll ankle and Josh Sweat toe. All right, so that's the injury report. So the only two guys you really got to watch ready for game day is Quez Watkins and Boston Scott. But let's get into the topics, and let's start with the first topic. Trevon Diggs, I'm going to keep this one short, out for the season. Prayers up for Trevon Diggs. I know some people took it way different than what I meant in my community post. I put basically prayers for Trevon Diggs, and I put prayer hands. And a lot of people was thinking like I'm saying, thank God he's hurt. No, I'm saying prayers up for him. Hopefully he gets better. All right, so it was confirmed, unless you live under a rock or something. But his ACL was tear at the test. More than likely, we already know ACLs is like your season is done. Your season is done, and sad to see. I'm hearing that was during one-on-one drills in practice. I don't know why they still running one-on-one drills. I thought that was training camp stuff, but it cost them a star cornerback. But what I would say about Dallas is that they are deep at cornerback. Trevon Diggs is their number one, but then they got, like, I believe the guy named Jordan Lewis, Blandon, all those guys. They got guys that could fulfill his role. Probably not up to a standard, but that can fulfill his role and they can play at a high level. All right, so let's get into the next topic. Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is sick of us. Jalen Hurts is sick of us fans, the media. He's hungry, man. He is hungry and he hear us. But he's like, yo, when winning wasn't the standard. Why are we talking about this? Why are we talking about that? We know we could beat you multiple ways. Yes, Swift did his thing. We ran for over 200 yards, but when winning wasn't the standard. But let me go ahead and play the clip.
How it gets done, that's what everybody else wants to talk about. But
aren't they playing differently against you? I mean, okay, obviously you ran last week,
right.
But isn't there
what I'm telling you is it's not about me. It's about us. And so, if they are doing something there for me, we got 250 yards rushing to do that. And so there are multiple ways to win. And the thing that I want to make clear is when did winning not become the main thing. I always say keep the main thing, where, winning is the only thing that truly matters. And so obviously you have important things, right? You have priorities, and I think you have 1A and 1B. 1A is winning. 1B is playing to the standard. Now you can win, but not play to the standard, and you're still unfulfilled. You can play to the standard and not win, and you're still unfulfilled. So what matters?
How would you define that standard?
The standard.
You see him, man. He was a little feisty, man. He gave us a lot of quotes and only played 1 minute of the 7-8 minute interview. He's sick of us complaining. He's sick of us talking about this, talking about that. He's like, yo, we're 2-0. And honestly, even in my eyes, I see us getting better. Like if we go half by half by half by half, the coaches are still learning. The team is still trying to gel. I'm telling you, I think by week 9, week 10, this team will be dominant, in my opinion. They will be dominant because it's going to get to a point you're going to have to pick your poison. You want Swift to run for 170 yards and you want to drop that 8 deep BS? Okay. We just going to run it. You want to bring your guys in the box? Okay. Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, going to hit you over the top. You pick your poison how you want to lose this game. You pick it. And I think we're going to roll with that. And I'm happy Brian Johnson made that adjustment. Like, you know what? They want to keep dropping guys like that and want to copy what the Patriots did. Let's run the ball. Let's run the ball. And again, I agree with Jalen Hurts. I know we want to see a 400 or 500 yard passing game with 7 touchdowns in one game. I know we want to see that. We itching for that. Sometimes it just don't work like that. Sometimes it really don't. But Jalen Hurts broke it down perfectly. Of course, we're not living up to our standard right now, or we're not playing up to our standard, but we're winning. So we're still not satisfied. Then he also said something like, okay, imagine if we was playing up to our standards and losing. Still won't be satisfied. So right now, it's week 2, trying to figure it out. And again, he's sick of us, the fans, the media complaining. He's sick of it. He's definitely sick of it. And I love to hear my quarterback talk like this. It's the feistiest I ever seen him get. Very, very feisty. All right. So on this topic right here, I am reaching. I'm reaching like crazy. All right. So Jaquan Brisker, phenomenal safety. Phenomenal safety. But let's go over his stats before I get into what's going on. So he's from Pittsburgh. He was highly recruited in high school, but academically he was ineligible for a year. So he had to go to JUCO before he go to Penn State University, which a lot of people that like the Eagles like Penn State. So most of us know Brisker, right? He was drafted by the Bears in 2022, second round, 6'1", 200 pounds, led the team in sacks with 4, coming from a safety. Second in tackles were 104. And don't let the PFF grade scare you. It say 27, and that was his rookie year. Right now, I believe he's like in that 70 range graded. Mind you, the linebackers in Chicago, at least last year, wasn't that good. They had Nicholas Morrow and those guys, but they wasn't that good. And they D-line damn sure wasn't that good. And they lost Roquan Smith, so they was in rebuild mode. So that's a lot for a safety to deal with your team is in rebuild mode. But this year he took another step. I like the TJ Edwards and the things like that they're working with on defense. But there's a tweet that Stephen A. Smith, or he said on his show, that Brisker liked. And I'm going to put it right here. So to summarize what the tweet really say is that the Bears are a disgrace. The way they playing is a disgrace to the city. And as you see, the full quote here is it's a little bit of a lot. I don't want to bore y'all reading this whole thing, but Brisker liked this, and it was disrespecting the Bears. Now, if there was anybody that can get a disgruntled player and that can help our team, that's Howie Roseman. Now, he is going into his second year. Would the Bears do it? Possibly not. But like I said, I am reaching. Again, if there was any GM that could make a deal, and like, you know what, we flopping. Maybe we could get some draft picks, something out the Eagles. Hell, maybe we could get our second or third back for Brisker. He's not even happy here. Let's send him to Philly and let's rebuild this thing. Let's start building up some draft picks. And, you know, maybe it's time to get a new quarterback, new team, probably fire the coach. Things like that, you know. Or the more than likely the Bears are going to do this, keep their young talent and basically get rid of Justin Fields. But again, if there's any GM that could get a disgruntled player, that is Howie. See, he did it with CJ Gardner-Johnson. I am reaching. I told y'all this. I'm reaching. But if he's not happy and he demands a trade, Howie Roseman better put in some. He better be willing to give up some. Brisker is good. I give him about like year 4, year 5. He gonna be one of them ones. But he wasting his time in Chicago. Send him to Philly. Let him do his thing. But again, I am reaching like crazy. But hey, man, what do you think and how do you feel about the news today? Can we actually get Jaquan Brisker? Or am I reaching too much? Jalen Hurts is fed up. He's fed up with us. Stop complaining. We're winning. And Trevon Diggs tears ACL. What do that mean for the Cowboys? But this is Eagle Al. I'm up.